Good morning and welcome to Today in LA. That's Lower Alabama. Hope everybody's doing well this morning on a Wednesday as we start another day of the month of November, the 4th, of course, and it's moving right along. Before long, we'll be eating turkey. You can just never can tell. Of course, it's the day after the election, and we've got some results, and nothing is locked in stone yet because of the uh, several different uh, places were either did not have their ballots ready or had so many ballots they couldn't handle them. So a lot of the vote has not been turned in yet. So nothing is official yet, but it is really, really close. It's a lot closer than I think people thought it was going to be between Biden and Trump, and of course it might take days, maybe even weeks, before we get all of the tally. It's a record vote nationwide, by far a record. Of course, who can ever remember uh, being able to go to the polls a week before the election or 2 weeks before the election and vote? It's something unprecedented, and sure, they got all these voters out, and like I said, it's a record number, and we'll just have to wait and have some patience and find out exactly who will win. Just unofficially, it looks like the Democrats are going to again control the House. It looks like they've got enough numbers to do that, and again, it looks like the Democrats are going to be able to control the Senate. So same. What now? Oh, what did I say? What did I say? I mean, Republicans look like they're going to be able to hold on to uh, the Senate, but unless the creek doesn't rise, I'm gonna just leave it as that because nothing's official until it's official. But that's the way it looks. Of course, both candidates have come on television and said they were winners, but no, nothing is official as of yet. I know this that our the leaders of both the Senate and the House of Representatives both won and will again be over their are back in their position again. So it's no change there. So really, if it does stay like this, if Trump does win and the the leader of the House remains the same. What difference do you have? And then, of course, the Republicans must be able to control or have the numbers in the Senate to make things at least fair on both sides. We've got a call coming in this morning. Good morning. You're on Today in L.A. On a day after the election, Mike. The sun did come up, I promise you.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't watch any of it last night. I kind of started looking at it early this morning, just trying to figure out what was going on. I saw where Tuberville had blown away Jones.
Tommy Tuberville, the Auburn football coach.
We knew when he beat Sessions that the race was over in Alabama. Of course, Barry Moore, who came on the show, won big as well last night. So congratulations to him. I didn't realize when he was on the show that he was going to be so dominant in this election.
That's right. He was very laid back guy, wasn't he?
Yeah. And he won. I don't know what's going to happen nationally. I mean, it looks like Trump's leading in about 4 states. I think he's trailing in like 2. It is very strange. I mean, to be winning these states and then they're saying that they're having to count all the votes and recount all the votes and find out what's going on. I mean,
I know it.
Some of them he's winning pretty handily, and so I don't blame you for kind of being upset a little bit. Of course, Biden, I think is thinking he's won the election as well. So I don't know. I wish we had like Will Matthews or somebody call in today that follows this stuff a little bit more.
I'm sure Will probably will.
What's going on
right now? They're waiting on the results from North Carolina, Wisconsin, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan. I think if Trump lost any of those 5 right there, I think that he would lose the election. I'm not positive, but
he would. All he's going to do is win Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and either Michigan or Wisconsin.
All right, I mentioned those.
If he wins those, he wins.
Yeah, and that's what I pretty much said. I tell you,
What surprises me is he lost Arizona, which is usually red.
Yeah.
And then he's losing Nevada right now. It could come down to Nevada, which is crazy to say.
I know it. Well, I don't.
Because they have 6 electoral votes. So I don't know what's going to happen. He's leading Michigan. He's leading Pennsylvania. He's leading North Carolina. He's leading Georgia.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm sitting here looking at it this morning. Steve just gave it to me. It's probably the closest thing off for a while. Right now, Biden has 238 electoral votes. He's got to have, let's see, 270. Yeah, 270. And Trump has 213. Now, something's got to give. So with those states we called out.
Weird. CNN's got it 224 to 213, so I don't know what Trump.
I'm sure.
I don't know what Fox has given Biden that CNN has not given Biden yet.
When I went to bed last night, Trump had Virginia, but then Washington D.C. vote came in and he lost it. So
I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things where this could go on until Friday, probably is what they're saying. And then the Supreme Court could get involved. I mean, this could go on for a long time.
Yeah. Well, it's.
I mean, all I know is, I'm down here in Florida, and I voted yesterday, and I was talking to buddies of mine in Birmingham, and my wife was talking to her friends, and they were talking about hour and 45-minute waits and 2-hour waits, and I'm in the Florida Panhandle, and this is definitely Trump country where I am, this part of Florida. And I think I voted in 5 minutes.
Well, I'll tell you this: Florida has become a showcase of elections. At one time, I think the last time it was terrible, and now it's the best. Everybody's using it as a model to get all these votes answered and so forth.
Well, that's what makes no sense. Some states have mail-in votes that automatically count immediately. And then some states have the mail-in votes that you have to count after the actual election is over. So after everybody goes to the polls, they count those after. So that's what's so strange. I mean, and I'm sure as Democrats out there believe that the majority of those people that voted early, the 90 million people, they say, the majority of those were Democrats. So that's why I'm sure they think they can still definitely win this election.
Exactly. And I heard some people on television. And they say there's been some corruption, some obvious corruption, and these were people that were Democrats that were telling on Democrats, about these things. But again, it's something that we've never seen before. I can't. I wish I had a politician. A specialist or somebody that really knows what he's talking about when it comes to. The vote for the President of the United States, how you can actually vote 2 and 3 weeks before the election. That right there, you're bound to have a bunch of buses going by and picking up people and taking them to the polls and telling them who to vote for, don't you? Or know what you do here. But you always had that case. But now you have a case where they actually can go into their household, tell them who to vote for, and stamp the mail.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I just reached out to Will Matthews, our lawyer from Dothan out of Ozark, see if he'll call in. He knows all this really well. So, of course,
we'll get into
anybody else out there locally that is really into politics. Maybe somebody else can call in as well and inform everybody what's going on.
Here's a pretty good idea of some things. You know, we were talking about Georgia. They're yet to finish their election. They get 16 electoral votes. Right now they have 94% people reporting, and right now Trump leads by a couple of percentage points. Michigan has 16 electoral votes. They have 90% reporting, and this is very close, Mike. 49.1% compared to Trump, 49.3%. So that is extremely close. In fact, how about this? 2,384 to 2,396. Isn't that unreal? In favor of Trump, and very, very close. Nevada has 16 electoral votes with 67% reporting, and they Biden leads here 49.2% compared to 48.6% for Trump. North Carolina, and who would have thought this would have been a deciding state, with 15 electoral votes and 94% of the vote in North Carolina, the Biden camp has 48.7% compared to Trump with 50.1%. So they have a little over a 1 point lead here, but anything can happen, you know, with that little.
Yeah, I'm on Fox News. North Carolina, Trump's winning 2,732 votes to Biden's 2,655,000 votes. So they're separated right now by about 80,000 votes.
Now, as far as the popular vote,
Nevada is what is shocking to me. It's only 6 electoral votes. I don't know why I can't get that word right. But I did not think Biden would win Nevada, and he's up right now by 8,000 votes.
I don't know. I would.
Only 67% reporting.
Yeah, Michael, Biden leads in the popular vote over several million. Did you know that?
Yeah, well, Hillary won the popular vote.
I know, but still, though, I mean, we're talking about 5 or 6 million the last time I heard, and that's pretty bad, isn't it?
I mean, how did they not call Pennsylvania, though, when Trump is literally up 55% to 43%?
Yeah, I know it.
I mean, that seems kind of insane.
Well, it doesn't show here where they've called them yet or not, have they?
I know, but I'm just saying that is a huge, and you know the crazy thing about that's Biden's home state.
Yeah, that's right. And I think they've at least they're not showing. At least I don't see it. They're not showing Pennsylvania. They already. They say they're still out there. The states that are still out there are Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, and then there's one more. That's Nevada. So, and also Alaska's still out there too.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. They probably didn't go to vote last night.
Yeah, exactly.
Until about 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it takes 270 electoral votes to win. All right, and now.
So basically, Trump's passive. He's at 213. Biden is at what is he at 238?
238. Yes, what we have through Google.
So if Trump, who's leading Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Michigan right now.
Yeah.
So if he wins those, it's over.
Yeah.
If he wins just Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia, that would give him 51 points, and then they would come down to basically Nevada. If he
that's right.
Nevada, those 6 points would put him over.
Isn't that unreal? That's unreal. You're right.
Biden,
it's all so close.
Biden is winning Wisconsin and Nevada right now, so that'd be 16 more.
Oh yeah, it doesn't show it. Does it show Wisconsin? It shows them in light blue. What does light blue mean? What now?
Know. Oh yeah. It's who's favored.
All right, who's favored?
Oh yeah. Okay, so that means that Trump's also favored in Alaska, the way it looks right now. So that means it's Trump's leading in Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Alaska.
Okay.
Biden's just leading in Wisconsin and in Nevada.
Yeah. How many votes do they get in Alaska? How many electoral votes?
Nothing that will really help anybody. Three.
Three. Only get three. Yeah. This is gonna be.
So Biden won Nevada, Wisconsin.
Yeah. All right, come here a minute. Come here and tell me.
In Alaska, that would be 19.
Can win period. All right. Well, I've got a report coming in here. Just on somebody's opinion. I'm not going to tell you whose opinion, but they feel like that Trump will take Georgia, Michigan, and North Carolina. Is that it?
Well, he's got to win Pennsylvania. He's leading.
Pennsylvania.
He's leading heavily in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and he's leading in Pennsylvania. How many votes is that?
That's 20.
That's 20 right there. If he can win Pennsylvania.
How does Pennsylvania have so many?
It's a big state.
Votes?
It's a big state.
Well.
And so all of this remains to be seen. Somebody that would like to call in and can give us a more complete report, we'd be glad to let you talk this morning because it is very important. On a sad note, and my prayers and my thoughts go out to Benny Pinkard and, of course, Chrissy. Benny lost his mother, Emma Jean Pinkard. She was 100 years old, bless her heart, and what a wonderful lady she was. The graveside ceremonies will be at the place her husband built, Green Hills Park. And Ray, her husband, now she can go and be with Ray and look out over that beautiful place. And of course, our hearts and prayers go out to the Pinkard family. That graveside is today at 11 o'clock from Green Hills. 11 o'clock at Green Hills today. We'll pay our respects to Miss Emma Jean Pinkard. And
you got Will Matthews said he'll call in 10 minutes. So,
all right, we got a Will Matthews call. He's in the shower probably. Is that right?
I don't know. I would imagine a lot of people didn't get any sleep last night. I imagine a lot of people were up all night.
Well, I tell you what, I woke up in the middle of the night and could not sleep, and I went in and started watching it, and then I ended up finding myself asleep. But I heard a lot. But throughout this whole time, you got Biden saying he's won, and you got Trump saying he's won. But Trump was more disturbed than Biden was. Trump was really disturbed about some things, and I don't know what's going to become of all that. But he did not agree. He did not agree with how all this was taking place.
He's concerned about the mail-in votes. He's concerned now that he's going to end up losing some of these states because of mail-in voting.
Yeah.
90 million votes were cast. That's what's so crazy.
Yeah, and all these experts, and they got a lot of expert pollsters, and they're being turned around because they say that Trump was finding voters that they did not even exist. You know what I'm saying? They were finding eligible voters that went to the polls that these pollsters didn't even know anything about.
Well,
so that was
actually, the voter turnout was larger than it's ever been.
Oh yeah, that's right, no question about it. And it's hard to
look what Somerville did to Jones in the state of Alabama. I think it was 61%, 40%.
An Auburn football coach continues to express himself, and I tell you, he is going to represent the state of Alabama in Congress. Or in the House of Representatives, whatever you want to call it.
No, he's a U.S. Senator.
Oh, wait a minute, that's right, he's a U.S. Senator. Some people wait a long time to be a senator, but...
that's one of the biggest things you can be in.
I know it, exactly.
Career, yeah.
Yeah.
He, Somerville got he got 1,370,000 votes, a little bit more than that, and Jones got 861,000. I mean, it wasn't even close.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people felt that way because Jones was the incumbent, but he was actually running for the office for the first time, actually.
So what about Pike County local elections? Do we got any results? Did Chad Copeland win?
Chad Copeland did win. Pike County's own Chad Copeland won his election and will be. He was This will be his second term as for the county commission, and congratulations to him. And of course, what a fine young man he is. I tell you, I've been very impressed. But he's got a wonderful mom and daddy too, though. I tell you, and again, congratulations to. Reason I call him Troy's own, he's an employee here at Troy Cable and does a great job. Everybody loves him. Okay.
Well, that's good. Good to hear. Congratulations. Was there any other local elections?
I didn't. I haven't.
Mayor's race in Brundage ever going to run off?
Yeah, all of that's been solved a while ago, Mike. And
okay.
Yeah, and congratulations to those folks. And you know, it's time to reunite, regardless of who wins this thing. And we got to reunite and get everything back on board and get it going again for America, and trust that flag, and trust, of course, trust God more than anything, and let Him lead us, and we'll be going in the right direction. Of course, Trunk and Bottom, there they are right there. And the Montgomery Advertiser this morning, both of them thinking they have won. And let me tell you, this thing is going to go down to the. I will just say this. I would think this is going to go down to a record difference. I mean, I don't think we'll ever have
this is going to go to the Supreme Court. You would think Biden's not going to get this close and not go down without a fight. He's not going to concede, and you know Trump will never concede. So we'll see what happens later this week, I guess.
102 million Americans.
I had to hand it to Biden, though. I mean, he held him strong to the better. I mean, I know he had some faults as far as some of his speaking issues and being elderly and stuff like that. But I was kind of impressed the way he stayed strong to the bitter end.
Well, he's been in politics 47 years. I mean, he's used to it. He's seen it all, and he's not one of these guys to feel sorry for him. He's a billionaire, they say, and I don't know how he got that way, but
now how he became a billionaire.
I don't know if he's a billionaire or not. We know Trump's a billionaire. He tells everybody.
All this tells you right now is how divided this country is. I mean, how close this race tells you how divided this country is as far as politics and what people believe. And, I mean, it's going to take a long time to figure, how everything comes together and how we live together in peaceful harmony, I guess you will say. Because if Trump does win this election, I cannot imagine the riots and, the violence that's going to go on throughout.
Well, I don't know if it's we don't know that. Hopefully it won't happen.
I mean, you've already seen it before. I mean, I just don't see how it won't happen again.
Well,
big news in sports yesterday. I'm very excited about this. Auburn basketball to host Troy in December.
Oh, wonderful.
Auburn's basketball program, which will be preseason ranked, will have Troy at Auburn Arena on December the 19th.
Oh, that'll be fun.
So, I don't know if they'll allow any fans to come to the games. I don't know how that will work in basketball. The last time these two teams met was in 2009 when Troy actually won their first time ever against Auburn. Big news for Troy basketball. The whole schedule has been released if you want to hear Troy's whole basketball.
Yeah, I'd like to hear some of them. Of course, I think this might be one of the better years in a long time. They recruited a lot of good players. And here comes a call in. It's probably Will. I'll put you on hold, or do I need to?
Yeah, you got to bring me back in.
All right, I'll bring you back in. Okay, you on Today in L.A. How you doing?
Hey, Mike, Will Matthews.
All right, Will Matthews, ladies and gentlemen, our attorney has called us, and of course he's our expert on politics. And let me bring Mike in. We'll have you ready, Will. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 1. And that's got you. We got Mike Amos on the other line from Grayton Beach, and I got Will Matthews from Dothan this morning. Are you at Ozark?
No, I'm in Montgomery, Mike. I went to Coach's victory party last night.
Hey, tell me about it. How did Tuberville celebrate victory? Did you ever think you'd ever go to a victory party for somebody that coached at Auburn?
Well, I'll tell you just like it is, Mike, and I think I know I've told Michael this, about June of 17. I'm sitting in my office, and a guy walks in my office, and it's Tommy Tuberville.
Yeah.
And I'd been friends with Jeff.
And you've been an Auburn fan ever since, is that right?
Well, it's got nothing to do with Auburn, but you know how I feel about Auburn. I hate Auburn, but, you know.
You shouldn't say that, man. Not on TV, not on local TV.
I do. People that know me know why. They didn't offer me a scholarship. I wanted to go to Auburn, so I ended up going to Vandy.
Yeah, okay.
So I've got bad feelings toward them from.
Well, it turned out to be the best move you ever made, didn't it?
Well, I got a great education for free. I didn't have to pay a penny, and I got everything paid for just for hitting a golf ball.
That was pretty good, wasn't it?
But anyway, so he came to see me. And at that time, Sessions was not in the race. And I've been friends with Jeff Sessions for 35 years. But you know what? When he told me, he said, look, I'm 100% behind the president. I'm not going to take a paycheck. I've got plenty of money.
What? Wait a minute. You mean Tuberville is not going to take a paycheck? I don't believe that.
No, sir. You can believe it. He's not going to take a paycheck.
Well, he didn't have to sign any papers to say he wasn't going to do it, though, did he?
No, he's going to do exactly what the president does. He's going to donate his paycheck to veterans in the United States, veterans groups.
Yeah.
Because his father fought in World War II.
Yeah.
And he's got a very...
Well, I knew, he's probably still making money off of coaching at Auburn on his what they had to pay him.
They paid him off, Mike, way while ago. They gave him like $5 or $6 million.
So if how much is a congressman make a year? Do you know?
About senator does.
State, U.S. senator. How much would he make a year?
About $200,000 a year.
Okay, well that's not chicken feed. I bet he ends up taking it. At least I would. I sure would.
You're wrong. He's not going to take it, and he's already said he's not going to.
All right. Did he just tell you, or did he tell a live audience?
He has told everybody. I've heard him give speeches.
Okay, I got you.
That's part of his thing.
I got you.
I predicted then he was going to win, and there was a bunch of people running, and I predicted he was going to win. He made that good an impression on me.
Now I heard him on the radio. I told this the other day. I was very impressed with the way he spoke the other day. I listened to him on the radio.
Oh yeah, and Doug Jones ran
Tommy Tuberville's worth $10 million.
Oh, okay.
Please. Well, Doug Jones ran the dirtiest, nastiest campaign. He spent $30 million. All probably 90% of it came from donors from California and New York.
But now you're talking about a bluebird, what I call it, he's a Mountain Brook lawyer, Will.
Well, most lawyers are
blue blood. He's a Mountain Brook blue blood.
Will, I also heard a lot of his donors were from Europe. He would go over to Europe on the state's dime and get a bunch of campaign contributions from people overseas.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's don't say something like that and not know what we're talking about now.
No, he's right.
Well, no,
he's
yeah,
right.
I read an article about it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I know he's well liked in the Mountain Brook area. Didn't you say there were signs everywhere you looked up there?
Oh yeah, I was in Mountain Brook this past weekend, and there was.
But now, let me ask you this, Will. Don't you think that a lot of Alabama folks didn't vote for him because he was a former Auburn coach?
Mike, he won by over 500,000 votes. My God.
I mean, he was.
I know it, but what I'm saying is, like in Mountain Brook, the reason so many signs in front of people's houses is because they didn't like Auburn. Is that right?
I mean, Tuberville didn't even have to debate him. Tuberville, after he beat Sessions, it was over. Everybody knew it.
It was over. Yeah, the election was over when he beat Jeff.
I knew that. I was just having fun with it. Of course.
Well, more importantly, everybody's trying to figure out what in the world is going on with the presidential election. You follow it more than most. I know you celebrated with Tuberville last night, but everybody wants to know is it over or does Biden still have a chance?
if I was a betting person, I would bet Biden is going to be elected because they're going to steal the election. You can write it down.
How can that be happening though when he's leading all these states right now?
You've got these mail-in ballots. They can throw them in the trash. They can verify votes that aren't votes. I mean, there's all kind of ways to cheat, and they're cheating. And I'll give you a perfect example. My son worked in Pennsylvania 4 years ago. He ran the campaign. He's got a lot of contacts in Pennsylvania. Right now at 7:30 in the morning Central Time, Donald Trump is ahead in Pennsylvania by 690,000 votes.
That's right.
690,000 votes. They will not call the state. You know why? There's enough of these mail-in ballots floating around that could make a difference. And I'm gonna tell you, I mean, if this thing turns like that, I'm gonna be bitter.
They can go into the households. They can call them on the phone. They can get in touch with them on the computers, telling them to vote. I mean, they can go after the folks that did not vote, and it'd be 500,000 people, wouldn't you think?
They can vote till Friday. Yeah.
They can vote till Friday. An absentee can vote till Friday.
Yeah.
My whole thing is, I'm living down in Florida though, and all the mail-in votes, all the votes that were cast before the election, those are all counted immediately on election day to go along with everybody that goes to the polls. And Florida was done. How are the rest of the states not done on election day?
Michael, you're wrong. They were counted before election day.
I mean, yeah, counted before election day. Sorry.
Yeah, they were counted as they came in, which is the way to do it, really.
Yeah.
But now these electorals, I'm sure that Trump had a lot of them too, so the Trump people are going to get out and get those folks to vote then. Is that right?
I think most of Trump people voted on election day.
So you're saying right now that Biden's going to be the next president of the United States?
If I had to predict, I'd say yes.
Well,
that's hard to believe with him leading in 5 states right now.
Hey, when you've got corrupt people right now and they're trying everything they do to steal this thing, and it's just impossible. It's going to wind up in the courts.
do you think we're having any outside interest by other nations? Do you think Russia and China, any of those folks are involved in this election?
Well, I guarantee you China does not want Trump to be the president.
So wouldn't Russia, I mean not Russia, but wouldn't President Trump have his own people in all these polling places to make sure none of this happens? I mean,
they got run out.
Yeah, they got to be careful. They can't just do anything in those.
I know, but he's the sitting president. I feel like he would have more power than Biden right now.
Michael, this is the problem, and I was Tommy Tuberville's attorney for Southeast Alabama. Okay, I told him he wanted to do. I said, look, you're not gonna need an attorney. You're gonna beat the crap out of this guy. It's not even gonna be close. He said, well, we gotta have somebody in case some funny stuff goes on or whatever. I said, okay, that's
beat the stew. Yeah.
But he beat him. He beat him like a dog.
Yeah.
and I mean 500,000 votes, Mike, in a small state.
Yeah, that's nice.
Made a lot of votes.
But the big issue is this: if Trump loses any of these states, it could be detrimental to him. Either North Carolina, Wisconsin. Out of these states, tell me which ones look like they're in. Michigan. Yes.
He's ahead in Michigan.
All right, Pennsylvania.
He's ahead by 700,000 votes in Pennsylvania.
Georgia.
Way ahead.
He's barely ahead in Georgia, maybe.
That Atlanta bunch scares me, man. That's a lot of people that are Democrats in Atlanta area, isn't it?
Yeah, they're starting to count the votes right now.
All right, Wisconsin.
How did Trump lose Arizona? I always thought that was a red state.
They had a big Senate race out there, Michael, and there was an astronaut running for Senate as a Democrat, and this Martha McSally was the Republican. She's been appointed
Yeah.
twice by the governor to the Senate and gotten beat both times in election.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
that actually hurt Trump.
Yeah. All right. Let me finish up on this right here. Wisconsin. How does he stand in Wisconsin?
That was neck and neck. I mean, they're within 10,000 votes.
Have they called it yet?
No, that's called it.
In North Carolina, these are southern states, Georgia and North Carolina, that he's got to win. Is that right?
We've already talked about it. Trump's leading in Alaska, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. Only states that Biden's leading in right now is Wisconsin and Nevada.
If he wins the ones he's leading in, he's the president.
Oh boy, you don't. All right. So right now, you don't feel very good about it, do you, as a Republican?
No,
That it doesn't sound good at all. Trump didn't sound good before I went to bed last night, and he didn't have that positive attitude that he normally has.
He's probably
well,
worn out.
Mike, he's been up. He hasn't had any sleep for 2 days.
Yeah.
He had a rally in Michigan until 2 o'clock in the morning, Tuesday morning, and then he went home. Friends at 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
I mean, I hadn't followed politics much in my life. Is this going to be considered the closest race in presidential history, probably?
Well, I tell you, the George Bush thing in 2000, you couldn't get any closer than that. It was 2,000 votes determined the whole.
That was unreal. And well, another thing, Biden has a tremendous overall vote, doesn't he? I mean, public.
The popular vote.
Popular vote. I mean, I'm talking about 5, 6, 7 million people, isn't it?
No, he's about 3 million ahead in popular.
Is that what he is? Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, Hillary won that, Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hillary won that by 3 or 4 million.
Yeah, you're right.
Time, but listen, you gotta look at California, New York, and Illinois. Those
All right, I got you.
states, put him 10 million ahead. So
Yeah.
he's won everywhere else.
All right, Will. I appreciate talking to you this morning.
When do you ever think this will be decided, Will? Friday?
Next week, and then it'll go to the courts.
I sure hope we can keep the peace. It's going to really be a lot of stress on both sides.
Well.
Okay, well, Will, thank you so much. We got Max Howell coming in here for his daily visit or weekly visit. And
Max, I said, hey.
all right, we'll call in and talk to him. We appreciate you very much, Will. Thank you.
All right, see you.
Okay, right now, Max, Will, are you still on?
Yeah,
Will,
for a minute,
stay on right now until Max comes back on. Right now, he's not on, trying to get in right now.
What did Tuberville, his winning speech last night? They say he spoke for 15 minutes. What all did he talk about?
He just talked about, all these negative things that were put out about him and all, just.
He'll take over when, in January?
January 20th, I think, when he's sworn in.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is an amazing story to be the head coach at Auburn for 9 years, won 159 games, and then becomes a U.S. Senator at 66 years old. Unbelievable.
Michael, Coach Tuberville has won every place he's ever coached.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, he's a good football coach.
He's got a great record as a coach.
He was a great defense coach in Miami under Jimmy Johnson. Yeah, he's been a lot before he was head coach.
Okay, here we go. Thank you, Will. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll see.
You on today in L.A.? How you doing?
Mike, it's Max. How you doing?
Good to hear from you. We had to get our politics in this morning, Max. Of course, I know you.
I figure y'all still counting votes then.
Yeah, they still are. I'm afraid they're going to be counting votes for a long time. They've never seen anything like this. This is unreal.
It absolutely is. That was one of the reasons I stayed until I guess after 12 last night, watching it and trying to see.
And still couldn't figure anything out, could you?
No, nobody can.
They've never seen this many voters, have they?
That's very true. Well, over 1 billion voted, before.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, exactly.
Free vote, absentee ballot. So, I did pick up a Will Matthews predicted Tommy would win the state. They did convincingly. Uh, Will's got his. I know he's got his ear to the ground in the political circle, but he certainly called that, and I was proud to see Templeville win that Senate seat.
All right, let me put you on hold a second. Be right back with you. Good morning. You're on. Here we go. We're gonna put you on hold. Gonna go here and here and here, and I got both of you on. Mike Amos from Great Beach and Max Howell, our guest every Wednesday on our show, calling from Fulton, Mississippi. How things? The sun did come up in Mississippi this morning, didn't it?
Oh man, listen, that was not a Democrat won any statewide election in the state. They had them all counted by sundown.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, it was a pretty clean sweep over here, and again, they did it's the medical marijuana on the first ballot in Mississippi this time. A little surprising.
They did. All right, now tell us about that. They approved medical marijuana.
Right. Yeah, they did. They had two different amendments in there. They approved the one which the federal guidelines, not the state guidelines. So that it's going to be. I think it'll be after January before any action. The next phase that we're looking at, of course, deals with my industry is who's going to grow it. Is it going to be allowed for farmers to grow?
Yeah, that's right.
Ole Miss, Mike, has controlled the testing in this part of the country for over 50 years. They've had marijuana plants growing on campus over 50 years at University of Mississippi in Oxford. So I'm going to assume that they're going to just transpose all the, everything that goes with the operations of medical marijuana will go to University of Mississippi probably. Even to the point where they'll do the testing, they'll do the issuing of the license, it'll come under the medical board, but it's controlled by the University of Mississippi. That's the medical school.
Okay, Max Howell, of course, ladies and gentlemen, a legendary figure around these parts. Ladies and gentlemen, goes into the Troy University Hall of Fame at our next meeting. We've got our installment ceremony. Of course, he's an analyst and one of the top football analysts in the country. Tell us a little bit about what you see going on out there.
Well, Mike, of course, the whole world's been, centered around this election right now. And I think, of course, I'm in a state right now where both Ole Miss and Mississippi State are really battling. I think I made the comment yesterday on the show that this weekend in college football, you got Georgia and Florida, who's at the top in the East, and you got Mississippi State and Vanderbilt, which is at the bottom. So that's going to be two ball games. I think people in this state certainly going to watch.
Anybody that was watching that game, Alabama-Mississippi State game, could tell that Mississippi State was loaded with talent. I mean, they had big, fine guys that could run, and at times they gave Alabama some trouble, especially in the secondary. But what they were doing is just trying to make them throw inside the safeties,
Underneath, yeah, they did. And of course, like I say, Mike Leach brings a whole new system, Mike, in all fairness to him. And it's a different system. Nobody in this part of the country has seen that before. And I tell you, the rumors are, though, that because, he's been very successful at Texas Tech in the Big 12, he's very successful at Washington State in the Pac-12, but we know both of those leagues don't play defense. And now people at Mississippi State start
to right.
Will this system work in the SEC where, you saw what they were doing defensively. Of course, they knocked the starting quarterback out in the second quarter. After that. And here's the sad thing. They don't have a number 3 and 4. Both those kids transferred.
Oh, I know. That is a shame. You're right. And this guy they got now, it's what is it, Jones? What's his last name? Not Jones. I'm trying to think of this quarterback now. It's got a movie star name. What is it?
The guy that got hurt is A.J. Costello.
Yeah, I know.
That was Costello that got hurt. They brought in a freshman. He's about the size of the Bennett kid.
Yeah, I know it.
He's about 5'10", and he can't throw over.
Yeah.
They don't know. The Leach don't put him in the rollout pattern to throw. He's very inept in that position.
I would be surprised if Mississippi State wins another game. I can't see it.
Say that, Mike. I don't see them winning another game this year. I really don't.
Yeah.
Surely they'll beat Vanderbilt.
I don't believe they beat Vanderbilt. I believe Vanderbilt will beat them.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting this weekend.
Well, they had the best running back in the nation, and he quit them, and they don't even have a running back. I mean, they don't have any the quarterback unless Costello comes back. They have a terrible quarterback.
Yeah, they knocked him. Boy, that was sad. I mean, they knocked him.
Oh man, you could see it in his eyes that he wasn't gonna go back in there. Oh man.
I don't look for him to play this weekend. Tell you the truth,
Yeah.
they haven't announced anything yet. But it's interesting. Now the other side of that, everybody thought Ole Miss should have won the Auburn game. I got to give Kiffin credit. He spoke out and he's got things turned around over there. They ran up there. They set all kinds of records at Vanderbilt this past weekend. So I think they're at least going to probably win a couple, 3 more. 5-5 probably is where they're going to be.
How can you be we need to talk to Will about this. How can you be a Vanderbilt graduate and have put up with what they have all these years? I mean, he's had 2 or 3 wins and everything, but this guy has not made them better at all. I mean, they've gotten worse. He hasn't been able to recruit. Of course, Vanderbilt, you got to worry about what kind of grades they make and all that, and it's a lot tougher to recruit there.
It's a different philosophy. The university acknowledges that, and kids that go there know that. The old adage, what the Georgia fans and the Georgia players say to Vanderbilt players. You know what they call them? Boss.
Yeah.
Because they don't think of own the
Right now, you can look at Vanderbilt, and I'm gonna miss a few here. You can look at Missouri. You can look at Mississippi State. You can look at what was the other one I was thinking about? But just those three. Those 3 are not very good football teams right now.
And I think you probably lump Kentucky in there.
Yeah, that's right. Kentucky's not playing that well either.
They started off
Offensively, they're horrible.
Yeah. And but what I'm saying,
that's one of the worst jobs of recruiting quarterbacks I think I've ever seen at Kentucky. They don't ever have anybody throw the ball. they got the same guy. They got the same guy in Terry Wilson and Joey Gatewood.
And I probably shouldn't have said that as much about Missouri because they played pretty hard and everything. But right now, though,
I thought Max was going to throw LSU in.
Yeah, and LSU, well, you got to have them. They got to be a disappointment.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you where that all starts, guys. That starts with the defensive coordinator, Bo Pelini. I analyzed that ball game very closely. I thought they were playing well enough of it. I guess I just had a mental lapse. I got Pelini he was fired before for doing the same thing he's doing now. He cannot coach the secondary. He doesn't understand combo coverage. He doesn't understand what goes on offensively in this league. He's been fired a couple of times because of the same thing. And then Oshron goes back and tries to replace Orlando, which was one of the best minds in the country, with a guy that, in my mind, can't read and write.
And again, and then it comes back. I mean, if y'all think that young quarterback is good, you're looking at the wrong guy. I mean, again, they've got quarterback problems bad.
Well, you go back and look, and that goes back to the recruiting the situation at LSU.
The guy's pretty now. He is really pretty.
Yeah, but you can't. You look like Tarzan, but you can't play like James.
That's right. That's right.
That's the way it is. I think
I'm sure they'll play their best game against Alabama though. Knowing LSU down there.
I don't think they can play a best game.
No, I think they'll have to change the scheme, Michael. If they're going to stop Alabama, they'll have to rush 8 and drop. They rush 3 and drop 8 all the way back to the goal line. They keep running with Alabama's team.
Oh yeah, Alabama's balance is going to give everybody fit.
What you think about Mullen going out on the field after halftime trying to fight everybody?
Well, that was stupid. That was the stupidest thing I'd ever seen before, and I'm surprised he wasn't suspended. In fact, he wasn't playing Florida this week for the SEC East. They suspended him. I'm convinced of that.
They might have. That's right.
And a $25,000 fine was the exact thing that Kiffin got the week before. It was twice as bad. publicly for the image of the university.
Yeah.
So then coming back at halftime and trying to hype the crowd up on top of that.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was ridiculous. I really did.
I wonder when they're going to start. You know how they embarrass people after they have hit somebody real hard in the head. How they make them pull them from the game. They walk out in the stadium. Everybody in the stadium looking at them. They all do coaches that way too. Now, coach, you're gone, and they get a guy to walk with the coach out of the game. You reckon that would solve some of this problem?
Well,
oh man.
And all the thing that is, they never mentioned anything about the late hit. That's what threw him out there.
Yeah.
At the end of the halftime. But that's neither here nor there. He should have conducted himself much better than that. He could have come back and talked to the officials when the team got inside just as easy. So I mean, it was.
You know what's crazy though, Max? Did you see him after the game? He was in a full Darth Vader.
Oh yeah, worst example for your players I've ever seen.
I don't know what that was all about.
Yeah.
You
know what? There's a lot of folks pulling for Georgia this week, but mainly because of the way this guy showed himself. But Georgia, bless their hearts, they run out of offense. I don't know what their problem is.
You talking about a guy that can't recruit quarterbacks?
Yeah.
Get them there, but he can't keep them there.
Hey, but I can see it right now. Coach, you hurt my feelings. I'm fixing a transfer. You hurt my feelings. I wanted that milk. I wanted it cold instead of hot.
Yeah, so what is the deal with J.T. Daniels? Supposed to be a hot shot out of Southern Cal. He had never even got out of the dressing room yet.
And they're using a guy that's 5'9" that it will never take them to the promised land, I promise you.
Well, yeah, the Bennett kid sure can't do it.
Yeah.
They had him in there because he makes fewer mistakes. He was a walk-on. How do you go play for a championship with an offense like that? So the good thing for Georgia is Florida's defense is very soft. So that ball game, we might look at that ball game being a 45-40 game or something like that. I don't know what the over-under is. I bet it's over 70 though.
Yeah. You start looking at the SEC, and of course Tennessee's down, and nobody wants to fool with them anymore. And then of course you've got Arkansas is a plus. Ole Miss is a plus. I'd say he's got Auburn. He's got Auburn going in the right direction, and Alabama.
I don't know. I mean, Auburn's already lost 2 games. So
but boy, I tell you what. Let me tell you this: they look pretty good. Were you impressed with him, Max?
Well, yeah, but guys, what have we said before? Can they do it again? Can they play like that again?
Yeah.
We don't know.
I still think Auburn will lose to Alabama and A&M. I think they'll lose.
Oh yeah, well they might lose to them, but right now he's turned a little bit of the corner. But think about it, y'all. Now you might can throw Florida in there. I reckon you can throw them in there. But they're not but about 4 or 5.
Florida's a fumble against A&M from being undefeated.
Yeah, and A&M is playing a lot better, and I might better change my mind about the coach because he's coaching a little bit better now. But A&M, Arkansas, Ole Miss, and of course Alabama and Auburn are playing pretty good football, but the rest of them are playing very either average or below right now.
Let me ask you this, guys: is the answer to the streak to the conference, playing 10 conference games, did we not see a clear, defined line there?
You're exactly right.
Who the contenders are and who the pretenders are.
You're exactly right. It is not hard to find them.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, after this year, Max, these other coaches throughout the league are going to be begging to go back to 8 conference games because they don't play these 4 non-conference. They don't play these 4 non-conference games. They're going to get fired.
Yeah.
Because they're all going to be under 500 in the SEC.
Yeah,
they're all going to be 4 and 6.
But you know what, Michael? I think that supports my thought on that is these out-of-conference games are all that saves their job anyway. We don't watch it. We don't do a composite and get a chance to see every week.
Yeah.
Now we do. We get a chance to compare them every week with everybody else. Remember all the thing, guys. There are 2 more games they should have lost. They should have lost Arkansas.
And they started to recognize it nationally. They showed a bunch of film the other day on Auburn, some of the wins they've had over the years. They've been fortunate with.
They have.
You know, but at the same time, they find ways to win. You know, especially at home.
I tell you, Max, you had to be proud of Troy. That was a shocking victory, winning 38-10 at Arkansas State in Jonesboro.
I thought so.
I was going to ask you, Max, when you saw that, didn't that surprise you? Because you know, usually Arkansas State plays real good against Troy.
Very well, they do. I was happy for them. I didn't get to watch, but I kept up with the score during that ball game. It appeared that from everything I got, that Troy kind of dominated the whole game, all the way through.
The second string quarterback, they were playing with their second string quarterback from Brantley, the free kid, and he threw for over 400 yards. And how many touchdowns, Mike?
I think he threw 2 touchdowns, ran for another touchdown. He ran 10 yards touchdown.
But Max, he looked great, and he's out of 1A Brantley.
Well, again, that goes back to the coaching situation. I was proud for Chip to get that team together and win it. That was a big win for them.
And now they go to, listen to this, Max.
Interesting, Dad, did you know about this? The Troy line was at 1.5.
That's what I was just fixing to mention,
Georgia Southern was favored by 1.5. Now Troy is favored by 2.5. Vegas really likes Troy this weekend.
You mean Wirtz might not play or what?
No. I mean, I think it's just after what Troy did to Arkansas State, they feel like Troy's the favorite.
Max, I know they probably wear the uniforms like you did when you were playing to show your biceps off. But Georgia Southern, just looking at them in their uniform, and I know this is silly, but you know they got those shoulder pads tucked under to show the biceps. And those teams that do that look so much bigger and stronger than everybody else. But what they're doing, they're showing the biceps. Isn't that right?
Yeah, I stood back a couple of years ago. I stood there at the end zone when they played Georgia Southern, and I remember Troy won that ball game. But you're right,
they're a physical-looking team, aren't they?
Very much so. So I think it's going to be a good ball game. That line's probably right, Michael. I think that's a bigger ball game to take right now.
Well, Troy has won 3 straight.
So, Dad, can we take our first break here at 8 o'clock?
We'll do it right now. We'll take our first break of the morning. And, of course, we appreciate all of our sponsors so well. Brought to you by Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks on the bypass right here in Troy. They're dealing, ladies and gentlemen. And in fact, nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody beats a Premier deal.
Here at Bill Jackson Chevrolet in Troy, we've been doing business the right way for 31 years. But don't take our word for it. We feel our customers express it the best.
Been honest in everything we've discussed with them.
When they say Jackson Satisfaction, they really mean it. The Jackson Satisfaction is real.
Trojan Auto Parts of Troy, home of Napa Know-How. Stop by and see owners Mike and Melissa Kilcrease and their Napa Know-How team with over 100 years of combined experience. We're the only locally owned parts store in Pike County, and we're fully stocked and ready to serve you. We pride ourselves on being your go-to parts store, not only for the simple items, but we specialize in those hard-to-find items as well. Trojan Auto Parts, the right part at the right price at the right time. Napa, a name you've trusted here in Troy since 1945.
Have you seen an increase in your insurance premiums or significant change in your insurance coverage? Let Sandbeck Insurance offer you a better plan to suit your business or personal needs. Sandbeck Insurance offers many lines of insurance, whether it's home, farm, or auto insurance, work comp, business, or health and life policies. Sandbeck is here for you. Call or visit our Troy, Enterprise, or Andalusia office today. Sandbeck Insurance, where we take pride in taking care of your insurance needs.
Our history is woven with the stories of those we serve. At Max, we've been a good community partner for 65 years. Max is dedicated to providing dependable financial services and to supporting our communities. We volunteer our time and share our resources. As a credit union, we've returned millions of dollars back to our members, local nonprofits, and small businesses. Max is honored to be a part of your story. We look forward to serving you for years to come.
After that, it's almost like he got scared.
Yeah, but you got to remember what LSU was.
Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen. Max Howell is our guest, and we've got another situation. Number 10, Wisconsin's game versus Purdue is canceled due to COVID-19 outbreak. How in the world? Again, this is what is worrying a lot of people here. You know, the COVID has shut down another game, and that was Wisconsin versus Purdue.
But you know what? They'll just put that at the bottom of the list, and Wisconsin, I think, is ranked 10 in most of the polls I saw this week. They'll fall out of the top 10, and all they'll do, Michael, just take those teams that played and evaluate them.
Oh yeah.
That's the end result.
Yeah, they say Wisconsin will at least have to play over 5 games. They'll have to play 6 games to guarantee them to have a chance to win the conference.
But and then one more loss though would do them in anyway probably.
Well, they're not giving loss to just game for game.
Oh, okay.
Forfeit. No. Now, I don't know there over here if there's one team that's ready to play and one team that's got the virus. They award that team that's ready to play in high school over here a 2-0 victory.
Yeah.
It goes into one loss column.
Max, we're not even talking about the game of the week, and I don't know why more people haven't looked at this, but BYU travels to Boise State on Friday night, 8:45 on Fox.
Boy, what a game!
That's going to be an unbelievable game.
I guarantee it will.
Where are they playing that game? That's important.
They're playing on the blue turf.
On the blue turf. Oh boy! Hey, that blue turf will put Boise up probably a touchdown. What do you think?
Well, all I can tell you is I hadn't seen Boise play, but this they put 6 guys in the secondary. So that BYU's got.
Oh yeah, he can throw it.
They got the best wide receiver core in the country.
And he throws it like a bullet too. And you don't realize how big he is. Do you know he's 6'3" and weighs about 225? A lot of people don't realize how big he is, but he sees up. They see him around all those big linemen, you know.
Well, he's already projected to be a first-round draft.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's the real deal. If you've never watched him, I know y'all watch him.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I watch him every week. That's my.
We're talking about Zach Wilson at BYU.
Yeah, no question. Yeah. And of course the coach at Boise is one of the top coaches in the country, a class act. He seems to find ways to win. That's going to be a great game.
I just wonder if you check that roster, how many kids are from Idaho that play?
Yeah, and how?
They're all from California. They're all from California. Yeah.
California.
And most all of them 24, 25 years old too, aren't they?
Well, most of them couldn't get in Southern Cal or UCLA or whatever.
Yeah, well, Zach Wilson's numbers, he's 6'3", 215 pounds. He's thrown for 2,100 yards already, 75% completions, and 19 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
Oh,
That's
boy.
incredible.
He's a good one, no question. And then they got that big nose guard that nobody can block. That had a lot to do with it, too.
That's true.
Yeah. They get a lot of Samoan players out of Hawaii.
Yeah. Here's that nightmare we've always talked about this, these players opting or getting on the list to transfer. It shows here today in the paper that Mississippi State's great running back is now opting to prepare for the NFL draft. Would that bother you much, drafting a guy like that that's going to quit your team right there in the middle of the year?
But Mike, he'd already quit them.
Yeah, had he?
When they refused to run him, he quit about the second week. He had been in practice, or he had been on the field the last 3 weeks.
It makes a huge difference when you lose a guy that can give you some kind of balance. I mean, last year he rushed for 1,350 yards and 10 touchdowns, and he caught 23 passes for 400 other yards. What it does, though, it gives your passing game so much more leverage because they've got to at least look out for the run.
I don't think there's any doubt, but I think from everything I've heard internally, Leach wasn't going to run him anyway. Leach was there to establish a passing offense about throwing 40 times a game. And if that's the case, I kind of understand.
Yeah.
The kid was trying to get ready for the only reason he came back was to get ready for the NFL. So, and I know he's had some personal problems, he had some family problems. And, you got to remember, he got very active in this state in politics in the summer. He led a bunch of protests and all that all over the state. So that was another whole dimension that nobody ever talked about.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, a lot of people say he's the reason the flag is come down in Mississippi.
Well, I say
Yeah, he is a real advocate. Yeah.
Well, he led a lot of those protests and all that. But you know, regardless of that, when you have a team like that, you can't have somebody that's walking in a different direction to keep a team in. And I think Leach saw that.
Well, wouldn't you say this? You know, everybody talks about Georgia and Alabama and Florida and Louisiana, but you know, Mississippi's a pretty good recruiting ground too, isn't it? There's a lot of players there, isn't it?
It's absolutely the downfall of this state, Mike, is the academic side for kids coming through this public school system. The academic side, their pass ratio in this state is deplorable. You know, if you got 10 prospects out there, probably 6 or 7 of them will qualify academically.
That's why the junior college group's so good there, isn't it? That's the best junior college football in America, isn't it?
Well, competitive-wise,
would you think it was better than California, or is it good?
It's 40. Yeah, competitively it is. There's 14 junior colleges here that can recruit. They don't have districts anymore. They got 10 out-of-state scholarships. They recruit anywhere in Mississippi. And here's the state law over here. If you graduate in 2 years with a AA degree, you got better than a 2-point average, either Mississippi State, Ole Miss, or Southern Miss, they have to admit you to school. So, you know, even if your academics are weak and you can't get into a curriculum, you come into school, they put you in a general curriculum, you get 1 year out of them anyway.
Yeah.
For eligibility. I mean, I went through all of that when I was at Ole Miss. And I had, to be honest with you guys, I had guys sitting in front of my desk for a whole semester because I couldn't get them in the business.
Oh yeah, and you know, they still got to, like you said, you know, you can give them all of this, but they still got to go to the sit down with a pencil and piece of paper and make the grade.
They do.
And it just but some of the best players are really good that come through there. But having to graduate from junior college hurts sometimes, though, doesn't it? The SEC can't get a kid unless he graduated, can he?
Well, you can get them there. Now, if they're qualified coming out of high school and choose to go to a junior college, they don't have to stay for 1 semester.
Oh, okay, I got you.
You can bring them back. Yeah, you can bring them back. In 2 years, I brought in 14 junior college players, and all 14 of them had a chance to go to the NFL.
I know you built a reputation. A lot of people noted you. I remember people talking about you back then, getting all those good players for Mississippi State and Ole Miss.
See, that was the thing that Billy, I worked for Billy Brewer there, and he was an Ole Miss guy, graduated there from Columbus, Mississippi. But they never went out to get a core.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, Jackie Sherrill came right behind Mississippi State, and he made a living out of that.
Yeah.
He got to the SEC championship game because of the junior college players.
Mike, are you still on?
Yeah, you know, Mike, I wanted to talk to you. How crazy is this situation at Southern Miss where they fired Dan Hopkins? I mean, I don't know if Dad's even heard this story. So they move up this interim coach and offense coordinator. I think the guy's done even 31, 32, and he becomes the interim coach. And then in the middle of the season, he interviews with Austin Peay. He gets the head coaching job at Austin Peay, but when he interviewed, he didn't realize he had COVID-19. So basically, he had to quarantine and the athletic director for Austin Peay. You know, Austin Peay played 3 games, and then they're going to play their conference in the spring.
Yeah.
And this guy had taken a job in the middle of the season after being promoted up to interim. I mean, Jeremy McClain, the former Troy athletic director, has got to be beside himself.
I know it.
I mean, I can't believe this is going on at Southern Miss.
You know, Southern Miss program has just really collapsed. I mean, they were terrible this past weekend.
But let me tell you why, guys. They have no money. They have no money. Their budget situation. Jay Hobson was the lowest paid Division I coach in America, less than $500,000 a year. I mean, they have no money and no way to get any money. And Jeremy's found himself locked in a position where he's got a contract. They pay him pretty good, I think. But the fact is, he can't bring any quality folks in there.
Yeah, that's right.
So, you know, I'd love to sit in a meeting with him and the board.
And I tell you something about him. He's a premium guy. He's going to do it the right way. And you know, I don't know what's been thrown on him.
Michael, he ain't got the money to do it anyway right now.
Yeah. And at one time, they were probably the best. What do you call it? Middle of the road Division I play.
non-Power 5 schools.
Yeah, when you say they were the best in the country at one time, when you say that, Max?
Well, they recruited locally. They recruited in-state guys. They recruited junior college players. They took transfers. That was Jeff Bowers did a really good job.
Oh yeah, Bowers was a very good coach. You're right, he was.
But is that strange? Is that strange to happen in the middle of the season though? How an athletic director
I'll tell you,
contact another coach?
They've opened up a can. They've opened up a can of worms. What they've done, and these players, Max, Coach, he wouldn't let me. I stumped my toe, and they wouldn't let me put any Mercurochrome on it. And my mama said to come home. My mama, so he just says, "I'm gone. I'm gonna play for Millsaps next year."
They could buy a bottle of Mercurochrome.
When's the last time you heard the word Mercurochrome or methylate? Hey, if your mama didn't have Mercurochrome and what is it? Methylate in your medicine cabinet, shame on you.
That's all.
How many times your mama say, put some methylate on it? Or what was the difference in methylate? I tell you what it was. Mercurochrome wouldn't sting you, but methylate would.
Yeah, that's very true.
Oh, man, we're having fun.
I feel sorry for Jeremy because his hands are tied. He gets a lot of bad publicity because, as you said, that was unusual. The thing I heard earlier, the reason the kid let the interim guy left, they couldn't even pay him.
Yeah.
Because they were obligated to other people's contracts, see, when they let them go. It was
You're right.
Financial death for them.
Yeah. And when these guys leave, I mean, with some of these buyouts, even for mediocre coaches, if I was coaching at Southern Miss, they said you're gone, but I got to give you $1 million a year for the next 5 years.
You know what? At Middle Tennessee, Rick Stockstill. You know what his buyout is today?
No, but I'm wondering.
At Middle Tennessee, $6 million.
$6 million for Middle Tennessee, the buyout.
Right.
Now, Mike, we know why they didn't get rid of him a few months ago.
Exactly right.
All right, Mike, we're gonna pick up this call coming in here. I'm gonna put you on hold here, and let's see if I can get it right here. Good morning. You on Today in LA? How you doing?
Hey, Mike, Will again.
Yeah, all right, Will. All right, I'm gonna put you on hold and bring you back. All right. Okay, Mike, are you on?
Yeah, I'm on.
All right, I'm gonna let you off for about 15 minutes. I'm gonna bring Will on, if you don't mind.
That's fine.
All right, come back though in a minute. Here we go. All right, back to Max Howell, ladies and gentlemen, on our show today. He's on our show every Wednesday at this time. We've got a call coming in. I believe it's Will. Let's see who it is. Good morning. You're on Today in LA. How you doing? Hello.
Hey, you got me.
Oh, I thought you were gone. I'm sorry.
Here, I can get off.
All right, well, we're going to bring Will on.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Okay, one more. Got one more, and we're going to be on. Well, there we go. We got Will and we got Max. Is that right?
I'm here. Yep.
Will Matthews, you got Max Howell on the other line. This is our attorney from Ozark.
Max, who do you think's going to win the cocktail party Saturday?
You mean this coming up weekend?
Yeah. Is Florida, Georgia this weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming up. Well, here's the thing, Will. At least the SEC let Running Saturday. I thought they'd suspended, to tell you the truth. It probably should have. But I think they let it go. Because without Dan Mullen on the sideline, Trask probably couldn't throw 10 completions all day long. To me, that was an awful exhibition the other night. I look for Georgia defensively to probably win that ball game, but I think it's going to be a pretty high-scoring game. I think Florida can score, but I don't know if they can keep Georgia from scoring because their defense is awful.
Yeah. I thought the person that should be suspended for all that is the officiating group that missed that blatant hit on Trask obvious headshot.
You're right. I agree.
Max said the same thing that you said about that.
That player should have been suspended, and that's ridiculous. Kyle Trask has got a future in the NFL. I think he's going to be an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think
could have been ended. His career could have been ended by that cheap shot.
Well, I think that's obviously what set it on fire, got him out there. But we also know that the head guy can't do that.
No, he's got to.
He could have let the team go in and come back out.
And with the head guys out there, let me tell you, I could see all 150 of them going at each other. If they got my head coaches out there, I'm going to fight, aren't you?
Yeah, that's what they did.
I know, but what I'm saying, the whole both teams, that's a lot of hard-nosed folks right there.
Yeah, and I think Dan Mullen got in the face of some of the players on the other side because he didn't think they were the coaching staff was trying to protect them anyway. So I think the whole thing was a mess. Yeah, well, it was handled right by the SEC.
Mullen's sort of a temper guy anyway. He's a real temper guy anyway, isn't he?
He is that, and he's not easy to get along with.
Yeah,
he's a heck of a football coach.
I know it. Exactly right. Of course, Will Matthews calling in from Ozark. Of course, his law firm is very well known all over Southeast Alabama and South Alabama and Northwest Florida. Y'all been in the business a while, hadn't you, Will?
Well, my dad started in 1956.
And he had to hide the fact that his dad was a former cheerleader at Tennessee and was a huge Tennessee fan.
Mike, he was the head cheerleader in Tennessee when they won the national championship in 1951.
Yeah, your sound is not very good this morning, Will. I don't know what the problem is.
Let me try something different.
Yeah. Of course, Max Howell.
How about
that? Much better. What did you do?
I just got it off the car and put it.
Makes a lot of difference. Of course, Will, give us let's talk a little bit about the games this week. Right now, Georgia and Florida. To me, that's a pretty close game, but Florida's got a lot more offense. Don't you think so?
Well, Florida's getting 5 points, and that kind of shocked me. I thought it'd be closer to a field goal or a best game.
I think they recognize what Trask can do. I think they're thinking that Georgia's defensive front is excellent. Their front seven at bar, but I think they think Trask can throw it over. But I don't see how Florida, other than Georgia throwing a pick or dropping it on the ground, I don't see how Florida's defense can stop anybody.
Of course, Clemson this weekend, Clemson and Notre Dame. Everybody's been worried about this quarterback, and of course, I would too. But hey, let me tell you, Clemson's got a lot of more players than just that quarterback, don't you think?
Hey, Mike, let me ask Max this, and you see if you agree with me. I think Georgia this year is like LSU was for about 7 or 8 years in a row until they had Joe Burrow.
Agreed.
Because they did not have a quarterback, and they don't have a quarterback. If they had a quarterback, they would be instant contagion.
They would be instant contagion. And people don't realize they let their quarterback go to Ohio State, and a lot of people think they're the best team in the country.
Well, and that was Kirby's fault. Could have given the job to Fields, and he could have given the job to Fields, but he didn't. And he hung on to that guy. He was a game manager.
Just think about it, Max. Right now, Georgia with that quarterback. Hey, I would think that Alabama would be the underdog playing against Georgia with that guy in there.
Now I'm gonna predict. You're gonna laugh at me. I'm gonna predict Notre Dame beats Clemson Saturday.
I've already thought
it's
about
gonna
that.
happen.
They're good. Now Notre Dame's supposed to be real good defense on defense.
It's gonna be a low scoring field goal game, and I think being on the road, I think Clemson could lose this game. They're only a 6-point favorite.
Wait a minute, the game is on the road. They're playing at Notre Dame.
Yes.
Did you know? I didn't know that. I did not know that. Oh, that's gonna be a tough game to win right there now.
I think Notre Dame's got a good chance to win.
touchdown Jesus, and I'm not being sacrilegious here either. They got that touchdown Jesus. That's the first thing you see when you walk in that stadium, Max. You've been there, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been there several times. But the fact is, guys, they had their hands full with Boston College the other day. In fact, they went down 2 touchdowns before they came back and won. So I think if they get down 2 touchdowns against Notre Dame, they won't be able to come back. But Notre Dame's gotten better. They're not thought they were.
Yeah.
I saw the ball game.
Mike, can you talk right now? Can you talk?
I've already do what now?
Mike, can you talk? No, we're not able to get Mike's voice in here. So right now, you two guys like Notre Dame, then is that right?
I do. I think they've got a fighting chance to win the football game.
And right now, you can get 5 points Notre Dame and 5 points at home. That's sort of rare, isn't it?
Let me ask you this though. Let's just say Notre Dame wins it. Then Trevor Lawrence comes back and the championship game. Clemson beats them. They both 7-1. Who gets the playoff game?
I know
I'm
it.
sure both of them will.
No, they won't. They're not going to take 2. They won't take 2 for one.
This, you know what? This has been a good year to have 8 spots instead of 4.
Hey, Max, think about it. One conference is going to get 2 teams. It's not going to be the Pac-10, and it's not going to be the Big 12. And the Big 10, you got Ohio State and nobody else. So they'd be in, Alabama would be in, and then the 2 ACC teams, I think, would get in.
But see, that's a possibility. I agree. I just think the committee don't want to take that. They don't want to take that hit. Other than maybe they can use excuse because teams didn't play a full schedule this year. But
I'll say this, Max. I'll say this: if Georgia gets in, or Florida gets in the SEC championship game and beats Alabama, then SEC will have to.
Yeah.
See, I'm still thinking that somebody else. They may look at Cincinnati. They look at somebody else. They really want Oregon. You see, they want a West Coast team.
Yeah, I know. I don't think it will happen.
If Oregon goes undefeated, I can guarantee you they're in.
Yeah. Are they going to get to play enough games?
Yeah.
Well, 7. They'll get 7.
Yeah, so 7 games.
The committee will be flexible in that. I think there's 6, no. But I think if they play 7 and go undefeated, I think that's. Look, guys, it's not who the best team is in the playoffs. It's who's playing the best first, but second, it's about the TV ratings and the money.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want that West Coast outfit, that audience out there, because without it, those commercial spots today, it goes way down.
Of course, Auburn has the off week, and that's a big break for them. And then Alabama, who do y'all like in that game?
Alabama's off.
Oh, God.
This week, yeah.
All right, well, I made a mistake there. I'm sorry.
You got 4 teams. You got 4 teams in SEC that's off this week.
Yeah, and that's a big break for them, especially. Is LSU off this week, too?
Yeah, they're off, too. And I'll tell you this, and you're going to laugh. When Alabama plays LSU, the point spread is going to be close to 20 points. And you think I'm crazy, but you watch. Alabama will be favored between 17 and 20 points when they play that game.
Yeah.
And you know what? They'll cover it too.
Will they the key right there, will the quarterback be back? I think he's much more able than this guy they got now.
Mike, LSU's defense is so bad. They're running around like chickens with their heads cut off. Alabama will throw for 500 yards.
Mike, what did I tell you? What did I tell you going into that? Who is the worst defensive coordinator in America? Bo Pelini.
Bo Pelini, yeah, oh yeah, exactly.
They have fired him. Look, LSU fired him for the same reason before.
Yeah.
He can't coach defense.
Yeah.
And why Ogeron brought him back?
That's right.
Nobody knows.
Will, I'm either break away and bring Mike back in here, but appreciate you calling this morning.
All right. See
Thank
y'all
you.
later.
Thank you, Will.
And we're gonna bring Mike Amos back in here if he'll come. He might not come. He's been on hold such a long time. And all right, Max, you back on? Max Howell is our guest this morning, and Max, is that you on the other line?
right here.
All right, good. Of course, a lot of folks are wondering. They say, "Well, when are you gonna get around to watch for dinner?" Tell me what's the plan for this weekend, and who is Ole Miss and Mississippi State got this week?
Mississippi State's got Vanderbilt in Starkville.
In Starkville. And that would be a big one for them to get their confidence back. But that's going to be a straight up game right there. Don't you agree? Or do you think Mississippi State would be the favorite? Max? We lost Max Howell for a second here.
Hello.
Yeah, are you back on?
Hello.
Yeah, I've got you.
Okay, I'm just saying, if Vanderbilt comes to play, Vanderbilt will win that ball game. This total disarray at Mississippi State right there, Mike.
Yeah.
In total, they got kids leaving. They don't know who's going to show up for practice. Yeah. It's not a good right now. I don't know if Mississippi State can win another game.
Yeah. And of course, that's going to be a good one. Now, Ole Miss, who they got this week?
They're off.
They're off. So there's one of the 4 teams that are off. Alabama, Auburn, LSU, and Ole Miss are both off. And then, of course, you got the big game in going to be played in Jacksonville. Who do you actually like in that game?
Well, I think Florida's going to play where Georgia's got more talent. But I am not a Kirby Smart fan. I think he makes too many mistakes on the sideline. And if he keeps a Bennett kid in there and he throws a couple of picks, Florida will win that ball game.
I sort of like Florida in this game. I'm not real high on Georgia offensively right now.
No, their offense is really not in good shape. Their defense is very good. So I think it depends on, if Butler can figure out a way to, the Trash can get completions out of that. If the offensive front can hold Georgia's defensive front out, Florida win the ball game.
Yeah.
You let that front seven turn them, and I look for Kirby to break them.
Yeah.
I think they're going to blitz a lot to get Trash out of that pocket. If they can, it'll be a low-scoring ball game.
Yeah. Of course, the big boys out west, Southern Cal, Oregon, and Stanford, and all them get started this weekend. Who do you like in some of those games?
Well, I'm going to watch Oregon very close, and Southern Cal. The other two projected to one of them is projected to come out of that league with a possible playoff spot. But look, I'm not a Pac-10 fan. Just not, they don't play hard-nosed. They don't play defense. They run up down the field all day long, and I think that's the problem with the Daniels kid that transferred from Southern Cal to Georgia. He can't stay healthy enough even to practice for them to play. And I think that's probably the underlying factor.
I've been surprised why Georgia hadn't brought Daniels out and let him play. Especially since they're going to give him. All right, so he's still hurt.
He came there hurt.
Yeah. Okay.
Rehab.
So and he would be the quarterback if he's well, don't you think?
I don't think he did it down. He'd be overplaying a walk-on.
Yeah.
The Bennett kid's not even a scholarship kid.
Yeah. Of course, we were talking about what a big game BYU and Boise State was, and what do you think about that game?
That's going to be really, really interesting. I've not seen Boise play at all this year. All I'll say is they better have a good defense. They're going to have to play. They're going to have to play 5 or 6 defensive backs.
Yeah.
And,
better put pressure on the quarterback too, which he hadn't had.
Yeah, that's right. Boise, Boise is been a real physical team, and they'll mix it up good. And this will be I think the best team that BYU will play this year. But it's without a doubt a big game. BYU they can't throw a pick and they can't drop it on the ground. They got to play solid football and win. But I think they got a chance. I'm going to be real interested to watch the defense against Boise's offense. I'm going to see against Boise's defense versus BYU's offense. I'll be really interested to see how that works out.
Yeah. And it'll surprise me. I know we keep going back to the Notre Dame Clemson game, and of course this is a huge game for both of those teams. In fact, Notre Dame probably will leave the top 40 and might not even get back in it. And and then of course Clemson will probably drop to 4th in the group. I bet a loss to Notre Dame would not knock them out, would it?
Well, yeah, I'm looking. I think right now, Clemson had already dropped in the ESPN poll yesterday.
Yeah.
They'd already, because of that tight game with Boston College.
Yeah.
I think, but I do think Clemson, Alabama, and Ohio State are the top three. Notre Dame ended up before in the latest ESPN poll yesterday.
Yeah.
So we'll get a chance to see how that worked out. It's so Notre Dame will get the edge because they're playing at home. Clemson has got the edge because they got the confidence. They don't believe they can get beat right there because they'll come from behind or they'll do whatever they got to do. But Trevor Lawrence, don't ever not think Trevor Lawrence is the key to that football team. He's the leader in the dressing room. He's a leader on the field, and he's a great athlete on top of that.
We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Well, I thought we're going to take a short break, guys. We'll be right back.
Here at Bill Jackson Chevrolet in Troy, we've been doing business the right way for 31 years. But don't take our word for it. We feel our customers express it the best.
Been honest in everything we've discussed with them.
When they said Jackson satisfaction, they really mean it.